Greeting and welcome to the Intensive Success Growth. I'm your host, Nishant Sharma. Please give warm welcome to our guest, Gab. Gab is a music producer, artist, and podcast host and video media editor. Welcome, Gab.
Thanks for having me. Happy to
Okay,
be here.
let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
Who inspired me to do what I do today?
Yes.
Um, there's a funny story about that. My parents used to tell me when I was younger that, first off, they told me two main stories about my music attachment to music. Was that one, I was tested for perfect pitch at 3 years old, and I don't understand why they did that, but they did it. And I had perfect pitch at 3 years old. They put me in front of a piano, they hummed notes, and they said, find the note, and I would find the note. And they had this kind of half joke, half serious story they would tell that before I was born, when my mother was pregnant with me, we were very poor, and so my parents would take the bus everywhere. And sometimes they get on the bus and together, and there would be this guy on the bus that would be beatboxing like, and they would joke that because that guy was beatboxing, I heard it in the womb, and I became obsessed with music. So I thought that was kind of cute. As for those are like two main stories that my parents used to tell me, and I kind of like to run with that. I feel like I don't know. I think I've had a few lives before this one where I was definitely heavily involved in music. I definitely have a predilection for it. If you're talking about artists that inspire me that I listen to, I would say there are Stevie Wonder. Who else? Who else is like James Brown is always James Brown to me is like the bedrock of what I love about music. Um, as far as carbon-based life forms, they do electronic music. I love a lot of synth wave. I really like funk, soul, and electronic music. I like those two. So a lot of house. I'm really getting into Afro beats now. That's really starting to get incredibly popular. But I was the kind of kid where I listened to everything when I was much younger, and I'm getting back into that because as a producer, you want to have as many influences as possible to make your sound unique. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it's a lot more. But I want to keep that brief,
Yes.
I guess.
Right. So, what are the top three reasons why do people fail in music?
Why people fail?
Yes.
Well, it depends on how you define failure. Like, how would you define failure?
Like failure means like they give up.
Okay, yeah, that's a good definition. I think that failure really is only giving up. Um, I think for me, I'm still very much in the process of really refining my craft. So meaning like when you're an artist, you go through many different modes of yourself, and you'll master a certain level of yourself, and then you'll go to another level. So this current level, I'm really focusing on myself as an artist. I used to just make tracks for other people and for a long time, and it's taken me a very long time to really find my own voice and my own sound. So in this process of really putting myself forward, it's really humility, understanding that humility has been my number one key. And humility for me isn't making yourself low, it's just being accurate about what your capabilities are so that you know exactly what to compensate for. So if you're not humble, you'll be expecting something of yourself that is much less than you're capable or much more than you're capable of. And it can, if you're not used to it can be discouraging if you overshoot or you undershoot and you're wondering what's happening. So it's always being humble and always being vigilant to understand, okay, what do I need to do? What skill do I need to develop? What do I need to develop? More confidence here? Do I need to develop more of a cold logical attachment? Do I need to focus more on developing my intuition? all these things that I'm just constantly being vigilant about every single day to bring myself forward as an artist, because this is the most recent iteration of my musical career.
What's your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Okay, so I actually just finished a song that I won't be releasing for a while, but I just finished a song that was about I'm getting into a space where I'm starting to talk about more personal things. Uh, I'm getting to the point, but it's like I used to write songs that were kind of that weren't very personal for me because it was just easier, and I realized that I need to start writing more about myself and writing about my own personal experiences, because especially within the last 5 or 6 years, I've had a richness of experience that has taught me a lot. And this song was about me being homeless about 5 years ago. And I was homeless for about 5 months, 6 months. And while I never want to go back to that point in my life, uh, that was one of the richest, one of the richest periods of my life, because I learned so much about myself and where I needed to go from that point. And one thing about me, whenever I'm done in a particular phase of my life, I can tell when that phase of my life is coming to an end. And I've always been very strong in my intuition. So within the first week of me being homeless, I felt, I believe that there's a supreme power. We can call it God. And I felt in my intuition, I said, God, why am I here? Like I never thought I'd be here. And in my intuition, God, whatever you want to call it, said, I brought you here. And I realized I was brought there to learn a lot about myself. And I've never had so deep an education as that. The way I got out of it was I had to start trusting in my own ability to manifest my own reality. I'm a very much I don't know where you're at with that, but in my experience, I have noticed that there's a correspondence between what I think most strongly about myself and about my world, and then what happens in the world. I see a very strong correlation there. So sometimes, life can get you all confused, and, you got all the channels running all at once, and you feel overwhelmed. But once you reach a critical mass of being overwhelmed, you're like, okay, all right, that's enough. What do I need to focus on? And then I just began to focus on what it is that I preferred, the best thing I could think of. And I saw myself getting out of there. I saw myself in a particular room. I saw myself in a particular situation. And within a month, I was out of that situation. So that may be a little bit unorthodox, but I just tapped into my own ability to focus. And when I focused on what I wanted without fear, I started to see the correlation or the corresponding manifestations in the world. So that's how I got out of it.
Great. So what motivates you within?
Whew. The motivation is to be myself and to accomplish something that I feel represents me. And I know that might sound a little self-absorbed, but the truth is, throughout my life, while my life has been incredible, I didn't grow up with the greatest sense of self. And it's taken me a very long time to ascertain the awareness of, who I am as an individual, to take pride in that, to defend it, to protect it, to water it, to nurture it. And my music is an extension of that. Like, while I was homeless, I found a way to make beats and write songs while I was homeless. And it was the only thing that really kept me sane in that very trying time, is just making music. It's like, I can't take this. Let me just make some music. And so music is very much an expression of who I am. And the more that I dive into who I am, and that, and my issues of self-worth and confidence and really clearing out all can I say, can you cuss on this? All the bullshit beliefs that I had. And once I clear those out, with meditation and just contemplation, I realized that I'm so much different than I thought I was. And so I have this intense desire to like break through every limiting barrier in my life so that I can see myself the way that I would prefer to see myself. And I can actually do the things that I want to do and manifest the things I want to manifest. I'm not sure if that's completely answering your question, but
Yes, yes, thank you. So, how do you start your day?
I start my day with bowing before the presence of God. The presence of God is in me and in you, but I always want to acknowledge that first. And then I do some affirmations, and I do physical exercise, meditate, and then I will basically I'll make music, but then I'll collect a lot of different ideas throughout the day that I'm inspired by. I create a lot in solitude, and I get a lot of ideas that way. So a lot of my day is basically racking up a lot of ideas in solitude, learning new words, learning about new technology, learning about how the world is changing. I'm obsessed with like looking at how the world is changing, not just in reference to technology, but in reference to consciousness. The consciousness of the world is changing, and it's just such a beautiful thing to see, especially when you're working on developing your own awareness.
Okay. What are you grateful for today?
Everything. You know, I keep going back to the homeless bit, but it's just like when you go there, it's just such a life-changing experience. Every day that I wake up inside is beautiful to me. Every day that I wake up in a soft bed is beautiful to me. Every day that I get to eat is beautiful to me. And every day that I have solitude is beautiful, that I get to appreciate just the very simple things in my life. I always make sure that, because I get out of sorts sometimes. Like sometimes it gets pretty stressful trying to build your own career, working on yourself, trying to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do. But I always try to bring it back to just, dude, you ate today, you slept in a soft bed, you were warm at night, or you were cool at night. It's just, I don't know. I just feel incredibly rich to just have those things. And I know that I'm going to have more, obviously, but just to have those things, and to be talking with you, I appreciate you reaching out to me. You seem like an incredible human being, and I've watched your other interviews, and they're incredible. And it's great that you're expanding your repertoire by talking to people, and I get to learn from those people that you interview.
Thank you. So, like, you were homeless. So, how did you change your situation? Like, what 3 action you did take from homeless to music producer?
Well, again, that's like a lot of things in my life are very intimately tied together. So the reason I became homeless was because I was trying to fit into a world without understanding myself. I was trying to conform myself to what other people wanted, and that just wasn't my path. There has to come a point where, and it's been a slow process. A lot of people talk about their transformation as if one day they just snapped and became different. It's like, no, it's been a very slow process of eliminating toxic relationships, making different choices, just little by little by little. And sometimes I still get impatient about it. But really what it's been has been constantly choosing myself over and over. There came a point when I was homeless that I realized the way that I was contextualizing or perceiving my environment and where I was at was because of how I thought other people would perceive me and the environment. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is this. You shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that. Voices from other people that were programmed in my head. And when I realized that if I listened to them, those imaginary voices in my head from, family members, old friends, and all that stuff, I was not going to make it. Like I had that very distinct, like I would have been either homeless forever or I probably would have died. And I realized I have to rely on my own instinct. And and that was 5 years ago. So I was an adult and I didn't know how to trust myself and my own decision making. So it's just incredibly important that if you're an individual and you're an adult, you have to be confident in your ability to make decisions. And this is something new for me. It's something that is run of the mill for so many other people, but it's very new for me. Uh, so I had to learn how to choose myself and trust myself, and I'm still learning that more and more and more every single day. And I'm guaranteed to be, even an even bigger success than I was in the distant past.
Okay. So how young are you?
I don't like to give out my age for some reason. I don't know why. I just feel like I'll tell you, but it's like I'm 37. I'll be 38 in a month and some change.
Okay. You are not
Yeah.
38-year young. You are 18-year young with 20-year experience.
That's very sweet. But yeah, so I mean, getting older is very interesting for me. It's so crazy. It's like I didn't think I was going to be dead by this age, but I never saw, it was difficult for me to like envision myself being 38. It was like, okay, 2022, I'll be 38. All right, whatever.
So who is your living mentor and what's the impact?
Living mentor. Oh man. People who inspire me. I have a lot of people, and I know you're saying one person. Dang, just thinking about someone the other day. I'm gonna give the Matthew McConaughey answer. He's
Okay.
it's me 10 years from now. So yeah, because I can't remember anyone else off the top of my head, so I'll just give the Matthew McConaughey answer. And I think that's a really good answer.
Yes, yes. So what's your top 3 learning from him, from Matthew McConaughey?
I mean, I'm not a Matthew McConaughey stan, but uh, he seems to be a man who, and he's probably what 15 years older than I am, but he seems to be a man who has a deep passion for life. He has had to learn humility in life, and he one thing that actually does deeply inspire me about him, something that I pride myself on, is something that I told myself is that I don't want to let go of my childhood instinct. I never want to get rid of that childlike spirit inside of myself. Because as a child or as a younger person, I would see people become adults and then they were just dead. They had no spirit, no life. They hated where they were at. They hated what they were doing. And so something about Matthew McConaughey that inspires me is that he seems like he's obviously an adult man taking care of his responsibilities, but I can feel a childlike nature inside of him. And I think that one of the biggest keys to success in life, as far as like quality of life, is having a childlike spirit, a childlike perspective. Because if you become too adult, you can just drain the life out of everything you do. So I think I think for me, adulthood is learning how to be responsible for your childlike spirit. That's basically what adulthood is to me.
Okay. How can we support you?
You can visit me on any of my social medias. You called me Gabe here, but my stage name is G Aware Nerd, which is my music artist name or rapper name or singer name. And you can find me on Instagram at G underscore aware underscore nerd, G underscore aware underscore nerd. Yeah. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Twitter. It's Gold Diamond Awareness on YouTube. And but I'm most active on Instagram at the moment. You'll find new material. I'm releasing a song tomorrow on Wednesday, June 1st. I don't want to date this video, but if you want to cut that out. But I'm releasing a song tomorrow and it's called 5AUs. Also Bandcamp. I will give the Bandcamp. That's the most important. golddiamondmusic.bandcamp.com. So that's GOLDIAMOND music, and that's one word, .bandcamp, BANDCAMP.com. So visit there and you'll get all my new music. And it's consciousness-based music. It's all about raising awareness, raising consciousness.
Okay. What would you like to say about your guest experience on this show?
I like how efficient it is.
Yes, right. What's your final word?
Table.
Okay, great. So, thanks, Gab, for sharing your wisdom with us. On the behalf of our community, we really appreciate you. Until the next time, all good wishes to you.
I hope to speak with you another time. I forget how to pronounce your name.
Nishant.
Nishant. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I would love to speak with you again, Nishant. This has been great. I love it.